Hi everyone, I'm Linda Reimer, one of the librarians at the Southeast Bend County Library. Welcome to Library Connections, our weekly readers, viewers, and listeners advisory video cast. Enjoy. Library Connections number 19, hosted by SSCL librarian Linda Reimer. This video cast is being recorded on Thursday, September 10th, 2020. Kicking things off with the top 5 books on the New York Times fiction bestseller list for this week. At number 1, All the Devils Are Here by Louise Penny, the 16th book in the Chief Inspector Gamache series. When his billionaire godfather is attacked, Gamache uncovers secrets hidden throughout Paris. At number 2, The Lying Life of Adults by Elena Ferrante. In this coming-of-age story, Giovanna seeks her true reflection in 2 kindred cities. At number 3, Dark Song by Christine Feehan, the 34th book in the Carpathian series. Will the vampire who held Elisabetta captive get in the way of her bond with Pharaoh? Read the book to find out. At number 4, The Harbinger 2 by Jonathan Kahn. Nuriel, Anna Gorin, and a figure known as the Prophet return as revelations are unlocked. And at number 5, The Vanishing Hem by Britt Bennett. The lives of twin sisters who run away from a southern black community at age 16 diverge as one returns and the other takes on a different racial identity, but their fates intertwine. And on to the top 5 books on the nonfiction bestseller list for this week. At number 1, Melania and Me by Stephanie Winston Wilkoff. The former director of special events at Vogue describes parting ways with the First Lady after being made the scapegoat for inauguration finance irregularities. At number 2, Caste by Isabel Wilkerson. The Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist examines aspects of caste systems across civilizations and reveals a rigid hierarchy in America today. At number 3, Donald Trump versus the United States by Michael S. Schmidt. The New York Times Washington correspondent details actions by officials who attempt to contain the president. At number 4, Untamed by Glennon Doyle. The activist and public speaker describes her journey of listening to her inner voice. And at number 5, Too Much and Never Enough by Mary L. Trump. The clinical psychologist gives her assessment of events and patterns inside her family and how they shaped President Trump. Our first recommended read of the week is fiction. It's called Hieroglyphics, and it's written by Jill McCorkle. The engrossing latest from McCorkle meditates on the physical and emotional imprints that make up a life. Octogenarian couple Frank and Lil retired to Southern Pines, North Carolina, from the Boston area to be closer to their adult daughter Becca, and for Frank, a retired professor who has been drifting with no sense of purpose, to explore his past. Frank had lived there during his youth after a 1943 train accident injured his mother and killed his father. Lil spends her time sorting through and composing journal entries to leave for her children, and through Lil's voice, McCorkle finds an elegant mix of wistfulness and appreciation for life, including this little gem. The premature blue dusk of a winter afternoon, the kind of light that makes you feel immortal. Meanwhile, Frank walks the train tracks near the accident site and frequently drops by his former home. The house is now occupied by Shelley, a single mother who lives with her young son Harvey and guards herself against outsiders. Early on, McCorkle makes clear that Shelley is hiding secrets in the house, and as Frank persists in his desire to tour the house, Shelley's family's betrayals and falsehoods bubble to the surface. Throughout, McCorkle weaves a powerful narrative web with empathy for her characters and keen insight on their motivations. This is a gem. That's the publisher's weekly review, and that one's just gone on my to-read list. Our second recommended read of the week is nonfiction. The book's called Superman's Not Coming, Our National Water Crisis, and What We, the People, Can Do About It. And it's written by Erin Brockovich and Susan Boothby. And if you're thinking the name Erin Brockovich sounds familiar, you'd be right. She was the basis of a movie starring Julia Roberts, unbelievably now, 20 years ago. It came out in 2000. And having said that, let me tell you a little bit about the book. In her first book, to address her signature issue of water pollution, consumer advocate and environmental activist Brockovich has written both a call to action and a how-to manual for citizen activism. Readers are urged to investigate the state of their local drinking water and press for government and industry action to regulate or remediate toxic pollutants that may harm our water supply. Nonpartisan, but not apolitical in its outlook, proclaiming that clean water is everyone's issue. The book, nevertheless, strongly advocates for both more regulation of industrial chemicals and increased support for the agencies that monitor and restore contaminated sites. Most of the book is comprised of vignettes of communities where Brockovich has worked with the locals to organize, testify, or consult on water quality issues. The exacerbating effects of global climate change are also addressed. Though co-authored by journalist Susan Boothby, the book retains Brockovich's down-to-earth tone. Appendixes provide contact information and short descriptions of environmental organizations, notes, and citations key to phrases in the text. Verdict: recommended as a note of encouragement or a roadmap for legal and political organizing for environmentally concerned citizens. And that review is from Wade Lee Smith of the University of Toledo Library for a Library Journal. And that, of course, is the second recommended read of the week. Our first audiobook recommendation of the week is the new Anne Cleeves. It's called TheDarkest Evening, and it's, of course, written by Anne Cleeves and read by Janine Burkett. On the first snowy night of winter, Detective Inspector Vera Stanhope sets off for her home in the hills. Though the road is familiar, she misses a turning and soon becomes lost and disorientated. A car has skidded off the narrow road in front of her, its door left open, and she stops to help. There is no driver to be seen, so Vera assumes that the owner has gone to find help. But a cry calls her back. A toddler is strapped in the back seat. Vera takes the child, and driving on, she arrives at a place she knows well. Rockburn is a large, grand house in the wilds of Northumberland. Now a little shabby and run down, it's also where her father, Hector, grew up. Inside, there's a party in full swing. Music, Christmas lights, and laughter. Outside, unbeknownst to the revelers, a woman lies dead in the snow. As the blizzard traps the group deep in the freezing Northumberland countryside, Rockburn begins to give up its secrets. And as Vera digs deeper into her investigation, she also begins to uncover her family's complicated past. Well, that sounds really good to me. I'll have to check that one out. I may read it instead of listen to it, though. Our second audiobook recommendation for this week is a biography. It's called Demagogue, The Life and Long Shadow of Senator Joe McCarthy. It's written by Larry Tye and read by Ben Yeager Thomas. In this contribution to a fuller depiction of the formidable figure for whom the term McCarthyism originated, Tye paints a portrait of Joseph McCarthy using previously unavailable archives and first-hand interviews with those who both supported and opposed the politician. Written in a straightforward, judicious style, Tye's book portrays the charms and evasions of this multifaceted World War II veteran, circuit judge, Wisconsin senator, and anti-communist agitator. Tye shows how McCarthy had support across partisan lines as chair of the Senate Committee on Government Operations in the early 1950s. The author continues by providing insight into how the tumult McCarthy provoked divided organizations such as the Congress of Industrial Organizations and the American Civil Liberties Union. Some members supported his goals of removing purported communist proponents from positions of responsibility, but not his bullying tactics. Tye suggests that McCarthy's methods are more than memories from the not-so-distant past. Rather, they are warnings of the disruptive nature of unrestrained populism. Verdict: often previously studied, McCarthy's career and consequences merit this additional analytical treatment that will satisfy curious readers of history, a definitive biography that will stand the test of time. The review was written by Frederick J. Augustine, Jr. from the Library of Congress for Library Journal. The streaming suggestions for this week are all blasts from the past streaming suggestions that you can dive into and enjoy during the month of September. I'm going to recommend 5 of them, and there's a little bit of nostalgia in these and, I don't know, a little bit of comfort to be found in them. If there's comfort food that we can have during this challenging time, there's also comfort TV shows and movies, and I think some of these qualify, so I hope you enjoy them, and I always have enjoyed them. And I'm showing my Generation X vintage, but I'm digressing a little bit onto the streaming suggestions for this week. Moving on to our first streaming recommendation for this week, it's the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind from 1977 and is available through Amazon Prime Video. Steven Spielberg followed Jaws, his first major box office success, with this epic science fiction adventure about a disparate group of people who attempt to contact alien intelligence. Roy Neary is an electrical lineman who, while sent out on emergency repairs, witnesses an unidentified flying object and even has a sunburn from its bright lights to prove it. Neary's wife and children are at first skeptical, then concerned, and eventually fearful, as Roy refuses to accept a logical explanation for what he saw and is prepared to give up his job, his home, and even his family to pursue the truth about UFOs. Neary's obsession eventually puts him in contact with others who've had close encounters with alien spacecraft, including Jillian, a single mother whose son disappeared during her UFO experience, and Claude Lacombe, a French researcher who believes that we can use a musical language to communicate with alien visitors. Lacombe's theory is put to the test when a band of government researchers and underground UFO enthusiasts, including Neary, joined for an exchange with alien visitors near Devil's Tower, Wyoming. And that is the Rotten Tomatoes review of a very hopeful film, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Ah, yes, I forgot the little spaceships here that I had animated. There they are. Our second streaming recommendation for this week is A Few Good Men from 1992, available through IMDb TV, Amazon, and other streaming sources. A Few Good Men is a terrific drama featuring a great cast. Tom Cruise is Lieutenant Daniel Kaffee, a Navy lawyer who is assigned to defend two Marines accused of murder. Demi Moore appears as his co-counsel, Lieutenant Commander Joanne Galloway, and Jack Nicholson gives a scorching performance as Colonel Nathan Jessup, the Marines' highly decorated commanding officer who deeply, deeply resents Kaffee's dogged determination to find the truth. While trying the case, Kaffee, who has previously plea bargained most of the cases he has tried, evolves as he discovers he firmly believes that integrity, courage, and honor are three things a service person should have, no matter the consequences. The film also features Kevin Bacon, Kiefer Sutherland, and Kevin Pollak. Our third streaming recommendation is the classic film Grease from 1978, which is now available through Netflix. Grease is set in 1958 and stars John Travolta as Danny Zuko, a cool teenage greaser who has a sweet summertime romance with the uncool Sandy Olsen, a young Australian woman who has recently moved to the area. When high school resumes in the fall, they are both shocked to discover that they attend the very same school, Rydell High. Sandy doesn't quite fit in at first, but she eventually finds her empowering way. The music is terrific, and the film also stars Stockard Channing and Jeff Conway and features appearances by Sid Caesar, Ed Kooky Burns, Frankie Avalon, and Sha Na Na. The film is pure fun as Danny and Sandy get together, split up, and get together again, all with a 50s high school backdrop. Moving along to our fourth streaming recommendation for this week, another blast from the past title. This is Hoosiers from 1986. It's available for free through Hulu, if you have a subscription, of course. Nothing moves the sports purists like the charge of the underdog. The more improbable, the better. And in Hoosiers, director David Anspaugh's wonderful celebration of the sporting spirit, a small-town Indiana high school basketball team comes out of nowhere and against all odds makes it all the way to the state finals. The fact that it's based on a true story from 1954 gives this rocky story a little extra punch. Washed-up college coach Norman Dale, Gene Hackman, and basketball nut and town drunk shooter Dennis Hopper lead a ragtag collection, mostly of farm boys, to glory. Along the way, they find a higher meaning to life and realize that they can accomplish far more than they had ever imagined. Although the theme here is an old one, the film is enlivened both by Hackman's artistry and by Hopper's touching performance, one that earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor in a Supporting Role. And the review is from Charles Salzberg of Barnes & Noble. And our fifth and final blast from the past streaming recommendation is a little newer in release, although the Muppets have been around for quite a while. This is the Muppets film from 2011. Tex, an unscrupulous oil magnate, discovers that there are oil deposits underneath the old Muppet Theater, and he works hard to obtain the property so he can add more zeros to his bank account. In response, Kermit recruits Walter, Muppet superfan, and Walter's friends Mary and Gary to put on a telethon and raise funds to save their favorite venue from being razed. The quartet go on a road trip to recruit the old Muppet gang so they can take part in the telethon. They catch up with the old Muppet gang in a variety of places. Miss Piggy is working for Vogue in Paris. Gonzo has become a successful plumber. Fozzie is playing in Reno. And Animal is living at an anger management clinic in Santa Barbara. So Kermit and Walter have their work cut out for them. There are no two ways about it. This is a fun film, and if you have the time, you might just watch a double feature consisting of this film and the original Muppet movie from 1979. And moving along to our Odd Duck recommendation of the week. My Odd Duck recommendation for this week is actually a website that I came across while doing research for a previous episode of Library Connections. It's called timeanddate.com. It has some really cool, easy to access information here. You can always, of course, go back to the home page, but there's a site map, the world clock, different clock settings. You can look at time zones, calendar information. I like the calendar info. Just different information on the different calendars. Julian versus Roman versus Chinese. Why do we have leap days? The sun and moon calculators are cool. The moon phases I especially like because it shows you we are right here, and it's a waning crescent moon. It's just a really fun website with a lot of different things. There's a stopwatch and a timer. I don't know why I'd use that so much on a website, but it's neat. Particularly the sun and moon and the weather items on the menu are a lot of fun to check out. So that's my Odd Duck recommendation for this week. Check out timeanddate.com. And moving right along to our cute cat photos for this week. The first one is of Jules. He's checking out the sheet drawer just to see what's in there, because cats like to do that, of course. Then we've got Winston, who can really relax and sleep just about anywhere. He's a cutie. And then lastly, we've got a really nice picture of Piper and Winston. It's hard for me to get a good picture of Piper. She moves, and you can see the white on her front there, but frequently, if she's got her head turned, she's so black on the rest of her body that you can't make out her face. So that was a good photo of her. Yes, I'm one of those cat people, as we all know. If you have questions about this weekly video cast, please feel free to send me an email. My email address is reimerl@stls.org, and I'll get back to you. Quick review of library resources you can access from home. Library's website, found at ssclibrary.org. The Reference Desk online forum, found at ssclibrary.org/virtual-reference-desk. You can also, of course, call the library. StarCat is the catalog of physical library materials, so if you want to search for books or DVDs, print books or DVDs, and place holds on them, you can do so. And on the bottom right-hand corner, the SSCL schedule and appointment page if you want to come in and browse or make an appointment to return or pick up materials. You can also, again, call the library. And our second page of library resources you can access from home includes the digital catalog and the RB digital catalog. At left, the digital catalog is the catalog of eBooks and downloadable audiobooks. There are two apps for that, Libby and Overdrive. Libby is for newer devices. Overdrive is for older devices. And there's a different process for checking out eBooks to e-readers. If you have a question about that, contact the library. You can also check out eBooks or downloadable audiobooks to your computer, and also digital magazines. RB Digital on the right, that's what that's for. There's more than 3,000 on-demand magazines that you can check out and read and keep forever if you'd like. The library blogs, full of fun content. We've got the book club for adults, the local history blog, Corning NY History, Creation Stationery, full of creative and fun things related to maker spaces and making things, Story Musings, an SSCL blog hosted by the library's resident author and head of adult services, Michelle Wells, and Tech and Book Talk, which is just what it sounds like, a little bit about tech, a little bit about books, a little bit about music. If you have questions about library services during the pandemic or want to make an appointment to browse, pick up, or return items, you can, as I mentioned, go online to do that, but you are also welcome to go the traditional route and simply give us a call. Our telephone number is the same as it's been for many years. It's area code 607-936-3713. The library annex hours right now are Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. At the current time, we expect to be at the annex through the end of September. In October, we are going to be moving back to our regular library building. I will have more information in subsequent episodes of Library Connections about that. You can also check out our Facebook page and our website for more details. But just be advised for right now, in October, there'll be a transition as we move back to our regular building at Civic Center Plaza, and that our hours may also change a bit. And yes, I forgot the graphics for the cool little phones to come popping up. So there they are. Social media, just a weekly reminder, you can connect with the library and post questions via social media. The library has pages on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. In relation, each video in this series is available on demand via the library's YouTube channel after it has first been shown on Facebook Live. A list of references here. And somebody's doing yard work outside the window, so I'll try and get through here quickly so you don't have to listen to the yard work equipment. Last slide I have here is for the tech tip of the week, which follows. Hi everyone, welcome to the tech tip of the week. I had a patron ask me a question this week. She wanted to know what the easiest way was to share a Zoom invite if you're the host of a Zoom meeting. If you're just attending a Zoom meeting, that's a whole other kettle of fish, and you don't need this information for that. But if you're hosting a Zoom meeting, what's the easiest way to share the invitation? Well, to do that, you want to copy it and paste it, but of course first you have to find it. So you go to Zoom and you log in, and you should have your profile page displayed. It should look something similar to what you see in front of you here. And then on the left-hand side of the page, under where it says Zoom, it says Personal and Profile. Then it says Meetings. So we want to click on the Meetings link. And I'm good. So now we're on the Meetings page. And if I wanted to copy and paste the invite for the first meeting there, it says SSCL Adult Book Club, September 2020. I would click on the title of the meeting. And then another page would display, which should look like this. And you'll notice about 2/3 to 80% of the way down the page, almost at the bottom actually, it says invite link. And I've got typed there, meeting invite link will appear here, and that's because I don't want to share that link with everybody in the universe. You are all welcome to join us for the SSCL Book Club. You do have to sign up through the library's website, ssclibrary.org, or you can contact me. But I don't have the link actually shown here, but that's where it will appear in blue. And to the right of that, on the right-hand side of the page, it says Copy Invitation. So you're going to click on Copy Invitation. And then the first thing that you see is a screen that comes up that looks like the photo on the left. It says Copy Meeting Invitation, and it's all in white. And again, I've got some of the little fields whited out there because I don't want to share that information with the universe. But you will notice at the bottom there, it says Copy Meeting Invitation. And having done that, click that Copy Meeting Invitation once. Then you see on the page on the right, it says Copy to Clipboard, and everything is selected. All the text is in blue. And as you may know, if it's highlighted in blue, that means text is selected in the Microsoft Office environment. So if it's selected, you can easily copy it. And then you can go someplace to paste it. So the software has copied it for you, but once you've got it copied by clicking on Copy Meeting Invitation, then you can go wherever you want to and paste it. In the most usual place that you would paste it is in the body of an email, as I mentioned previously. So you just go where you want to paste it, you click in the body of the email in this case, and Control and V keys on your keyboard will paste the text there. And then you can put a subject line in, you can pull up your distribution group, and by distribution group I mean you've created in your email software the group for whatever meeting, whether it's, book club meeting, church group meeting, family gathering. You've already put everybody's email address in a group in your email. I'm assuming that makes sense to everybody. If it doesn't, feel free to contact me. I can walk you through how to do that. But you've copied and pasted the Zoom invite, and once you fill out the email, you can click send, and away it goes. And I think that's the easiest way to share an invite for a Zoom meeting. And that's the tech tip of the week. And that's our show for this week. I'll be back next week with another edition of Library Connections. Thanks for watching.